Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to IPL 5 here in Las Vegas. We have FNATIC versus Team WE. Joe Miller alongside me, along with Riot Jat, and the crowd were just greeted with a dancing Freak.
Yeah, I just saw Freak dancing with a duck man.
Yeah.
He had a duck face, so that was good. Good job, Freak.
I was almost sad that we had to start and that had to stop, to be honest with you. But, you know, it sets a good precedent for the rest of the event, I suppose. You know, the hours that we've got less, hopefully, you know, all 4 games left to go.
All 4 games. And, you know, Team WE now have had time to prepare. What are we thinking coming into this one, Jat? FNATIC were ready. They were ready and waiting to go. They're obviously, you know, off the back of a glorious victory for them, real quick game. This was what happened in the first series this morning. They were very quick. Then they had the aggression again in game 2, but they let it slide.
And this is what's going to be so interesting because FNATIC has shown that they just love to dive. They love to continue attacking. Xpeke, I'm going to get it.
You are going to get
Xpeke, is that it? All right. Xpeke is so good at playing assassins, and they always dive in together with Soaz. And what's been so good against dive comps in the past is Zyra picks. But WE's been banning Zyra in all of these games because FNATIC's going to pick it themselves and just take it away. So as we go into these picks and bans, I'm really curious to see how WE counteracts all of this stuff because, again, we see an immediate Zyra ban, and the dive aggression for FNATIC needs to be held back in some way.
Calling the Lee Sin ban right from the start.
That might be a safe one. I was surprised that they didn't do it.
Well, and then, of course, the Rengar
They
ban.
could pick it. They have first pick. They're blue side, so they could be able to pick it away if they really want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's twisted fate for Messiah. I don't think we're going to get to see him playing that, sadly. I know a lot of you guys certainly want it. Rengar, we've seen Salmei playing an amazing Rengars throughout this tournament.
He had some of the most amazing escapes from the base on day 1. He did the backdooring in day 2, and of course, WE taking Lee Sin clear away from them. Be interesting to see where they decide to put it, whether it's Xiaomei, Clearlove, or even Messiah playing it because he can go pretty much anywhere. And they just trade these picks back and forth, it seems, going with Diana and Ezreal.
And FNATIC were ready for that one. You know, they banned out Cho'Gath. That's not a standard ban right there. They were like, okay, we're going to give them Lee Sin.
But to be fair, Cho'Gath is what Clearlove has played the most of this tournament. He's pretty much just been spamming games on it. And in honesty, it's one of his best junglers. He's farming great with it, and he can just destroy matches with it. I think that's a good ban, but it still allows them to trade for Diana.
Yeah, and also the ban that they, also they had Cho'Gath in game number 2 of the last best of 3 as well, World Elite, which they obviously came back in. So maybe it's a bit of a mental thing as well from FNATIC not wanting to have a repeat of that one. There is the Sona Corki pick, which we've seen been so successful so far for this bottom lane of World Elite.
And look at what FNATIC's doing here again, though. They immediately did Olaf and Leona right after that. And this is another quadra dive formation forming. Olaf's going to be going in, Diana can dive in, Leona's going to be flying in, and then they just leave Reckless to kind of do whatever he does on Ezreal. He just dashes around and manages to kill everyone with Infinity Edge. So, again, the teams, even though the picks are slightly different, looks like they're going for the same styles.
So
Ryze.
Ryze coming out in the mid lane. So Messiah on Ryze. Alex Ichi's favorite champion according to the video, but we didn't see him play at this tournament. We saw a lot of APE. What will they react with? They've got Diana versus Ryze. That's a fairly decent lane.
Yeah, and this is a really curious matchup because this is something Poe Belter actually played earlier in the tournament against Mandatory Cloud, and I had a conversation with Scar while this was happening, and he was talking about how, why would you ever pick Ryze against Diana? Diana beats that matchup, and then Poe Belter came back after he actually won the matchup with Ryze and said, no, Ryze beats the matchup. So clearly they're having some discussion on who is the better thing about that. For Ryze, it's all about dodging the Diana crescent sweeps, the Qs, and if he does that, then Ryze can kind of take over, but that's going to be a great skill matchup in mid there.
And that is the final pick coming down for FNATIC, and that will be Shen.
So, again, all of those guys can dive in. They can put Shen on top of Olaf, Leona, or Diana and just go. The Shen from Soaz in this tournament has been amazing. Jungle Olaf is probably what they're going to be throwing out there for Cyanide. They've done this very similar comp. I'm not sure if it was exactly this, but it was very close against TPA in Game 3.
And it's going to be Shen in the jungle, I think.
I feel like they're just swapping around.
They're going to last second swap it. Let's see how they go with it here. So let's go through the team comps. What are you suggesting? What are you seeing here?
Well, it does depend on whether they do the Shen or the Olaf. They are interchangeable, but it's about FNATIC and their 4 divers with Reckless on that AD carry. Reckless is wrapped into my mind.
He's got teleport, so he's got to be staying with it.
He could be. I can see teleport Shen as well, but that would make. They might still swap it last second. For Team WE, it's going to be. There's the swap. Okay, they had to swap it last seconds because he had flash, and that doesn't make sense for Olaf.
Yeah.
But here we go. FZZF again on that Sona. It's going to be about them trying to go in and create with the Rise. Then Lee Sin and Aurelia are going to dive in after them. This is a more almost combat-oriented Team WE instead of team fight-oriented. They're looking for more of the skirmish fights to try to keep up with FNATIC because they really got outpaced last match.
And something I want to point out is the fact that both supports have Ignite. There's no exhaust at all across the entire team.
That is really curious. So much of these guys that are diving in, though, aren't really auto attackers, right? Like, they dive in and they use all their spell damage to spike out. They're looking just for cleanse. They're looking for the AD carries not to get dove on. So much of this is Diana going in with Vacuum, and that's a slow after that. Aurelia can stun. They're looking for the AD carries to stay as safe as possible, and then they just want the Ignite so they can aggress in lane, I suppose.
Well, there we can see on the screen, on the left-hand side, FNATIC, of course, and World Elite on the right. I think it's about time we gauge the crowd again, Demon.
We could gauge the crowd, so I think I'll start it fairly. So, Team WE coming into this one, they've only dropped 2 games. Both of them are to FNATIC in the 2 best-of-3s they've played so far. The question is, this is a best-of-5, so they have many more games to go. It is all square 1-1. If you'd like to see World Elite take game 2, give them a cheer.
I want to hear, like, the roof being blown off with this one.
I think so.
If you want FNATIC to come right back and win this one from the lower bracket here at IPL 5, let's hear you.
Pretty solid. We know we were pretty much aware of what the favorites would be for this one. So we are getting into the game, ladies and gentlemen. If you just joined us, you can see on your screens it is FNATIC as the red team, just picking up the first game, even tying things up to 1-1 already. And WE as the blue team in the bottom left-hand corner invades from both, Jack.
They're all 5 going into the blue jungle of WE is FNATIC, and also WE all stacked up in that bottom brush, looking for maybe the delayed invade. The ward did come in onto the blue buff, and here they go. They're completely unwarded. They might get into a good spot here and maybe could pick up a kill. That is WE.
An interesting start to this one. FNATIC now change position off towards that river. Using the phosphorus bomb there, Corky, just to scout out. But World Elite put that ward down and are going to go back in towards their side of the jungle and keep that one safe. Weizhou actually going back or not.
So tense here early in the game. Really just all 5 avoiding their jungle entirely. Neither team has spotted each other this entire time. They're all grouping up. It's very interesting that they ended up both warding the exact same spot mirrored on the map. Now FNATIC all going to walk over this ward. It's going to allow WE to completely clear into their jungle, go wherever they want, give them a bit of freedom. So the chess match, slight edge to WE, but no real advantages gained.
No advantages, and you can see the race being picked up by clearLove and Messiah. Golems are going to be given to Weizhou on that bottom lane, and everybody returns. Soaz going to be on that top lane. It is going to be a straight-up fight. Xiaomei versus Soaz. Blue buff being picked across. Red buff started off for clearLove.
And it's just Lee Sin starting red, Olaf starting blue. We'll see if clearLove can put out any early ganks. We haven't seen much of his Lee Sin this tournament, mainly having forced into picking it away from FNATIC, and sometimes that works out great, but sometimes you pick yourself into a champion that you're not super comfortable with. Lee Sin, one of the most technically complex champions in the game to learn. We'll see how clearLove destroys with it, because he's going right past his blue buff, looking for a jungle invade. They might collapse with Cyanide right here. Coming
right onto Olaf there. They almost kissing each other going through towards that river. Messiah and XPK obviously hearing about that, and well, they're not going to be in any danger just yet. But here is Cyanide going back over, so he's realized that clearLove didn't obviously have that blue buff on. He's actually going to axe over the top there. clearLove just picking it up there with the smite, and he will stay safe.
Luckily, both junglers actually got the smiteless pull, so he was able to get that. Cyanide was not able to smite steal the blue buff. A little bit of waste of time for Cyanide. clearLove's slight edge early in the jungle.
So let's have a look through the lanes. As you can see down the bottom, actually a dive towards Weizhou from N-Rated, getting very aggressive early on. Reckless continues to put the pressure on. N-Rated is quite happy to shield out and take that abuse. Soaz versus Xiaomei in this top lane though, Jat. This is going to be a Shen versus Aurelia.
And Soaz has been so dominating on Shen in these games. It'll be interesting to see whether Xiaomei can do much to him versus Aurelia. Early creep stack. He got the first level 2, really starting the press here, and immediately you see when you push up like that, clearLove able to get into the second brush. We might actually see double junglers collapse here, but he's going to stay there for a while. We could very well see a gank kill here on Soaz.
There's a second wave of minions coming in there as well. Xiaomei just going to last hit and not really go for anything there. And I don't know if Clearlove's really going to get much of an opportunity here. Soaz sticking right onto the top of his turret, not messing around. He's actually will taunt Chow Mei there, which is maybe going to bait Soaz out. And look how clever he plays that one. Doesn't push out of there. He's not going to fall into this trap of Lee Sin.
That almost looked a little too obvious, taking tower hits, but now he's wandering into the brush.
He's going straight in there, and Clearlove manages to catch him out. He's going to be a dead man. First blood goes. It is Chow Mei that picks it up, and that worked very well. Like you mentioned, he just baited him into that one.
Just taking all the damage. Really, the first one was a bit too obvious, but then when he went into the brush, it almost made him think like the gank had been backed off, so he got curious, went a little too far. Really just a slight misplay by Soaz. We'll see if he can come back in that lane. Top lane can be so snowballing, and with how he dominated last game, it's going to be an interesting adjustment for him having to come from behind in that top lane.
And especially that kill going there onto Irelia, we can see the first shopping trip is going to be Doran's Blade plus that health crystal as well. So plenty of extra firepower for Irelia to try and dominate Shen in this top lane. As a counter, he's actually gone in there for that Doran shield.
So as it stands at the moment, we can see FNATIC Cyanide in that top lane, but Soaz is not there. You can see Soaz sneaking, peeking at the moment. The mid lane is just looking across. Messiah in the mid lane. Here is Chow Mei. It's going to be the axe coming out. It misses from Cyanide. And well, he just manages to dodge out of it. But as it is at the moment, Jack, looking across all of the lanes, farm advantage is with Team WE.
So Team WE in the past has been so good at just winning all these lanes. That's one of the reasons they crushed through the group stage and the early parts of the winner's bracket, because no one could outfarm them in lanes, and they just took that advantage throughout. If this is how they can take control of FNATIC and withstand their dive comp, then that's what they're going to try to do, because they're very confident just winning the lanes.
Yeah, we see here Lee Sin well up into that FNATIC jungle, just stealing away the wolves there, and he may try and come around the backside of Diana, who's almost half the CS currently of Messiah. And now they're coming down onto this bottom lane. We've seen this dive so often, Jack. This
is a dive where they always come behind. It's the 2v2 lane, but Olaf might end up catching him out here. Rise coming down as well. It's going to be a 4-man dive. FNATIC's got to be very careful when this wave gets to the turret. They are completely unsuspecting here. Rekkles trying to go back. If he makes it back, it's a dead and rated, but they want both.
Surely the moment that Cyanide come around, saw that wolves had been taken, he would have warned it. Now Rekkles has just gone straight back and rated on his own. Could still be a 4-man dive, and Rated is in all sorts of danger here. He's not going to be able to get out of this one. He's going to head towards the rush show. Can he get enough? No! The Flash Prism managed to get in there, and Messiah picks it up. There was no escape there, but Rekkles did get out of it.
That was actually a pretty good escape by N-Rated. He managed to burn a couple flashes from WE. Messiah burned it, and FZZF had to burn his Ignite. For killing a level 3 Leon, it doesn't even give that much experience, so good dive for them, but a decent avoidance by N-Rated.
I think they could have probably expected that one happening. Not sure if Diana just expected that Rise had gone home. Obviously, a lot of CS ahead. Probably just thinking, okay, he's just going to go and shop that advantage up right now. Obviously, not quite the case as he get in there for that kill. So that leaves it 2-0 for World Elite. 9,000 to 7,500 gold. Currently, as Olaf trying to get in here, there's a pullback. Messiah could be in trouble.
They're going straight in there, and has he got enough? He puts the prison down. He does follow it up, and Pekka gets straight in there, destroys him. And Cyanide also took the Wraith away. All advantages back in FNATIC's favor.
And you knew they communicated that very well. XPK said, Messiah has no flash used at bottom. Let's dive him as soon as possible. The dive follow-up and the gank support that Diana can lend is one of the reasons she is the most picked and banned champion in this tournament, really putting the pressure down onto WE.
Now, Rekkles in that bottom lane, come back in. Double Doran's Blade, Corki slightly different with the Vamp Scepter, Ruby Crystal, and a Doran's Blade in there as well. So we'll see how that one all develops. Top lane, as I said before, that Shen with Soaz did decide to go in for that Doran shield after going down and giving that first blood up.
We'll see how this lane continues to develop, because Chow Mei is just really pushing Soaz into the turret. He's not really doing much damage though, so it's just a farm off. He's taken that early lead, but he's not really extending it. Soaz should be able to reach his way back in this game, especially since he's level 6 now with Shen. Going to be able to lead gank support almost anywhere he wants. Because he's so troubled in that top lane, I'd almost expect something to come down bottom lane. Anytime WE tries to aggress, they might try to turn it around. Big thing they have to worry about here, though, is N-Rated being level 4, quite far behind in levels. When FZZF gets that crescendo, they're going to look to kill.
They're going to be looking to maybe dive for it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you can see 7 vs 6. Clearlove is just around these wraiths, but he's going to get spotted out by that ward, so no Sneakiness being given there. Also, Cyanide spotted out by the ward as well, but he's not looking to be sneaky. He's just going to brute force it up there, take a little bit of a lane tax. They have got a 3v3 situation here, but it looks like they may well back away. And
ClearLove actually there as well, so they'd be able to counteract that gank. There's a pink ward in ClearLove's brush, but we'll see how that works.
Olaf headed back now up towards this middle lane. Diana actually just going up there to support as well. So will they try and get in on towards Rise? They are pinging that one. And did they quite spot him? You can see Rise just going back to the defense of his turret. Doesn't want to be losing out on that blue or dying here for a second time. Smartly played. And they've always got to factor that Shen into things. That's something that you can't lose focus on, Jack, when you go aggressive anywhere on the map. That you've got to always have in mind, Shen is there. He could be there at any time.
I think it's a big part of what's in WE's mind right now because they really haven't tried any big aggressive plays quite yet. They're just content out-farming these lanes and trying to accumulate this small gold advantage. You can see it's still at 1,000, but every lane doing a little bit better, including the jungle. Really, the 88 now to 64 minion kill advantage in the bottom lane is going to stack up. Wei Zhao actually being 500 gold ahead. We'll see if they can continue to extend that.
Looking like they might go for a dive in the mid lane. They have, and you can see ClearLove got in there, but didn't manage to land the Q on towards Peke. And he avoids the damage once again. Olaf stacking in the bottom lane, though. They realize that he is going to be a 3v2 in this bottom lane. He needs to push the lane out a bit, though, so he can try and sneak into that bush, but there's a ward there already, Jet. Meanwhile, the top lane's just back and forth. Not really a lot happening here, but the farm is being won out. However, it's actually slowly being gained back by Soaz.
Soaz doing a really good job coming from behind here. When you got that early gank kill, I almost expected Xiaomei to punish him a little bit more. He's not to deny him any CS. He hasn't denied him any experience, and the farm is coming into Soaz. Here comes round 2 almost, though, because ClearLove sat camping in that brush. But with the way the lane is, I'm almost expecting him to give this one up right away.
And the funny thing is, we were watching there with the fog of war, actually from FNATIC side. I think they didn't see Lee Sin go into that bush. However, we are going to see him coming around now from that tri-bush side. Will he actually just
Diana
steal
bottom
away?
as well, though.
Diana bottom it is. Peke going in. He's going in towards Wei Zhao. He manages to catch on towards him. There's the counter stun. No! The crescendo lands beautifully there. And Rated did manage to get in, but great support work from FCZF.
Really just so much of that was WE deciding to get away. And again now, FNATIC trying to go in for the dragon while there's 3 members of WE up top.
The kick not quite being as successful as ClearLove would have helped here, but he may get that Rune Prison flash away from Soaz. They've burnt that one, but in the meantime, FNATIC saying you can four-man gank that top lane. Guess what? We're going to take Dragon.
Soaz doing a great job stalling here. It's going to be a turret for Dragon, but that's pretty much unavoidable. Gold about 1,000 now, and the stall from Soaz in that lane is pretty admirable. We'll see if they can start punishing them now, though, since they've taken that turret and the added map control may be in the jungle.
Yeah, they can see the 3-man stack has started to back off, so Soaz is going to be alone. He's going to get a lot of farm in that top lane. You can see Peke doing a heck of a lot of damage on towards his mid turret, almost taking it down, just trying to chew his way through it before the mid lane does return. He was up top for too long, and PK might even get this down. No Messiah's returning.
We'll see how PK continues to crush this lane because he's up 100 to 80. This has definitely been an advantage for him. Getting the gank kills, continually farming out almost both rates. Going to end up hurting ClearLove at the end of the day if he continues getting his own jungle stolen away from him. I'm wondering where XPK is going to go to get creation happening because he's usually, him and Soaz, the creators for this team. Still just a farm out in mid, though.
Cyanide coming around, actually going to be spotted here by this ward. And ClearLove knowing his exact position, and they may try and close in on this one. Messiah coming in around the side. Actually, Cyanide is going to pop his ghost to try and get away from this one, and it will be successful.
Summoner burned and 3 members in mid lane here. We'll see if they can hold the turret. There's now 4 actually creeping up for WE, but the wave clear from Diana is very great, and it looks like WE is just dispersing back to their lanes.
Yeah, Ghost Ragnarok pop there. There was a 4-man stack in that mid lane. Just looking across the items actually here, Jack, there's no GP10s being stacked out this time from WE. They have a statement of intent. They realize their possible problem in the first game. They just didn't have enough damage at the time, and they could be able to... Really, they've got the advantage currently, so, you know, can they capitalize on it? Every time they've tried to go for these ganks, it's not really working so far.
Well, I can see there is actually a Heart of Gold snuck into ClearLove's Lee Sin build. They're not going entirely away from it. There is a superior GP10 count for FNATIC, though, because Cyanide has went for the double. I don't think this is quite as big of a power curve difference as we saw in the last game. Both teams being very, very even right now, really having to wait for the right moment to initiate. Neither team has any kind of advantage to actually snowball yet. It's really just kind of turning into a farm-off with Diana winning mid lane, and with Wei Zhao out minion farming Reckless in the bottom lane. They're kind of trading advantage for advantage.
Yeah, we've not really seen those oracles coming in yet. Certainly not one on Cyanide up until now. And as far as I'm aware, not one on Lee Sin either. Which, you know, gives them less of a chance to really dominate this map, as we are seeing Diana coming in from the back of this bottom lane as well. Wondering if they'll be able to get in there. It will have been called that she's gone away. Here we go. They're going to go down onto Wei Zhao.
Wei Zhao getting caught out there, and they're going to try and finish it off. They haven't used a crescendo. Nothing was really burnt out other than the flashes. No ultimates plowed out. And, well, Reckless kind of didn't even get following up on that one, and PK didn't even get involved in the fight. Immediately they back off though, Jack. They're going to pick up the turret.
Xpeke really just tried to come in from the back, but that was a flash initiated by N-Rated. There was no way he could creep up there. Trying to invade the jungle actually a little bit, putting a ward there, worried about the collapse down from Messiah's Rise. Trying to rush down this turret, but W is frantically trying to get back to this lane.
While this all happens actually, you can also see that in the mid lane, they're trying to push. Remember that mid turret is very, very low. And Cyanide's trying to keep them busy there. If they back away too much, you can see 4-man stack right down towards that bottom. It's going to open it up for Cyanide to keep pressuring on that turret.
And in this whole game, though, FNATIC giving away the first blood and actually playing defensive quite well, crawling back to pretty much dead even gold. The farm has been caught up. FNATIC actually out-farming Team WE overall a little bit.
They're waiting in that bush at the bottom.
And here they come.
They are waiting in there. Wei Zhao. Oh, ultimate comes out. The crescendo doing well, but there's no tower there. There is a crazy strike landing. Here comes the barrage, and Wei Zhao going very low. Can PK finish him off? There we go. There's the one kill. They decide not to dive in onto Sona.
And now they're going in towards the mid turret as well. That's going to be a turret advantage picked up. So kills, turrets, gold advantage, switching to FNATIC, and they have it down. It is a 2-1 turret advantage, and they're stacking both lanes here, Jack. They're pushing both.
They're really putting the pressure on. Xiaomei going, Shadow going in. Here's another dive.
Yeah, PK coming down there with that Shen ultimate on. Oh, that was a little bit risky. FZF going low though, but they'll allow him to get away from this one and say, well, there is the turret. We'll be happy with that one. Cyanide, don't think Messiah's really got the power to burst him down yet. And that is another tower taken down here for FNATIC. They are now 3-1 up in towers. And you see that gold swung by 2,000, Jack.
And you almost just kind of blinked and they took the 2 turrets extra. Got this advantage on. The aggression is just flying through there. Again, they were just between the turrets of WE, forcing them to take things so good. The Xpeke and Shen diving in together, really what they needed. Now they have the Sunfire Capes completed, the Magic Pen. WE trying to counter off this push. They know everyone on FNATIC just went back to base, trying to take the mid-turret of their own.
Taking away the advantages, taking away the vision, and trying to balance things out as quickly as possible. But that bottom end turret is a vital, vital thing to be taken down. It means they can pressure. They pushed the waves on that bottom, and they even defended it out there, actually. They managed to get back in time. It means they can pressure on towards the top lane, push that wave in the bottom, and it just gives them a free reign. They realize somebody down will have to stay down that bottom lane to defend it.
Cyanide with the Oracle's Elixir actually just burned his ghost. It almost looked like FNATIC was thinking about initiating, but never did. He's got to be a little bit careful now that he doesn't have that ghost, but he's wearing that Oracle's Elixir. He is a priority target for WE when this next fight starts breaking up. Everyone's still grouping around the mid, fighting for ward control. We could really see something soon, because once those towers start going down, the fights really start happening.
And he just walked straight over the top of a ward there, which I'm sure he's not too happy about, or won't be when he goes back and realizes it's there, and he's giving his position away. Wilderly actually with this 3-man stack in the middle now, looking to push up, but hard against someone like Diana, who's got such a great wave clearing ability. And in the top lane, you can also see the minions pushing very heavily on towards this inner turret.
But the Dragon is up right now, and FNATIC just cannot afford to go away. They're going to have to eat that damage onto the turret to potentially get a fight here. Here comes the SOAS taunt.
They managed to catch up towards Xiaomei, N-rated, using his ultimate, but didn't land it. Team WE successfully avoiding that damage, realizing that FNATIC now up against a dangerous move there. Lee Sin Lantern the Q on towards PK, and Team WE, they seem to have the positional advantage here to push onto the turret.
They might try to finish off this turret. If not, they could peel for Dragon, but at any moment, Xpeke could go in for this initiation. FZF has his crescendo up as well. This fight's going to be very explosive. You can tell both teams really posturing around this Dragon. It's going to be a very important fight if it happens. Ults have already been burned. There's no Leona ult. Shen ult is still on cooldown. WE might have a slight edge since they are sitting on all of their ultimates. That's why WE is aggroing the Dragon. Will FNATIC decide to go in?
Here we go, FNATIC moving in towards it. Dragon still got half of its health as they focus in on towards Soaz. He's down to half HP already, and they are going to go in. He will taunt himself away, and they've turned it around. There comes the crescendo. They're moving in now onto extra to the left. There comes the true shot barrage, and they're all low. There's the first kill coming out, and it's PK that goes down. There's Lee Sin dropping as well, Demon.
Clear Love going down. Salmate taking very low. Does he enact? They're pinging back on towards Messiah there. Remember, the Dragon wasn't taken. N-rated waiting to see if he can manage to land the spot there. No, flashes out, gets caught out, but will they turn it back? They don't really have the damage, and Team WE have managed to regroup and focus. They're going towards N-rated, but Reckless is completely kiting out Messiah here, Joe.
Yeah, doing some good damage in there as well. N-rated holding them up. You know, there is Reckless, and there goes Leona into the middle. Messiah going to go down. Waits down one ball. It's a double kill. What a turnaround from FNATIC.
Nobody expected them to go back in there, especially WE, but FNATIC all dove in together. That's that suicidal N-rated creating for them with that Leona play. And in that fight beforehand, they did such a brilliant job zoning out Wei Xiao from that entire battle. It looked like FNATIC had actually lost it until they surprised WE with that. The fight kill and the Dragon, they've come back in this game and they are winning.
Absolutely mental stuff, and again, it's all about N-rated. Catching the stun on all three of them. They just stood there, said, fine, go at me. But, you know, Team WE thought they had them in the chase, but N-rated completely juked them in there. And the communication to say, okay, go in, and everybody instantly turned around, finishing it off, caught them all off guard. And that's going to give them a big, big advantage. It was so close up to that point. That fight could have turned the game for FNATIC.
And the big thing with that is Reckles has again finished that Infinity Edge on Ezreal. He's got the item advantage on Wei Xiao. Those 3 kills really coming in big. So Wei Xiao did outlane him. He got more minion kills and he was farming better. But because of the team fight capability and the coordination of FNATIC, they have now allowed Reckless to pull ahead once again. Keep swapping those names back and forth. We'll see if they poke around Baron here. Cyanide still has his Oracle's Elixir. And W's got to be afraid of FNATIC's team fight potential.
He's 1,100 gold ahead now after being, what was like 15, it was like 50 CS behind almost. Look at the mid lane as well, 6,500 to 5,500 advantage for PK. Top lane, actually Aurelia does have the edge there, mostly due to that CS over Shen.
So that's still where the advantage needed to be for Xiaomei as well. The big thing about all this gold advantage, though, is it's 1,000 more for N-rated over FZZF, and that just shows you, generally when supports have that much more gold, that just gives you the feeling of the game, what the objective, what the pressure has been for the teams, and having about 25% more gold really just shows the control FNATIC has held throughout.
And you know, you can see the difference that the Reckless did get that double kill in that fight. Took him to a 3-0-3, completed the Infinity Edge, and it's just given that little power spike. Wei Xiao still at 0-2-2, has just completed the Trinity Force. We'll try and balance out the damage a little bit, but the top lane now being pressured and pushed by Cyanide.
We'll see how much farm he ends up getting here onto Olaf. They're really trading farm a bit better between the junglers and the top laners. Both junglers actually, 6,800 gold on Cyanide. He's doing very, very well, but look at this. Clear Love coming in from the back. They're trying to turret dive.
They're trying to get in here, but N-rated is around. There is PK getting down very, very low. Clear Love actually will dive in, but he is going to fall for the price. There's a true shot barrage. Cyanide coming around the side. Well, are they going to chase them down?
Soaz is split pushing the bottom lane while all this is going on, though.
They're going in towards Reckless. Reckless getting taken down very low. He has been shut down by Wei Xiao. Messiah taken down by N-rated. Cyanide too deep, though. He cannot take 4v1, but that doesn't matter because Soaz is on the inhibitor turret. The rest of the team now need to back away, and Rated backs off.
3 for 2, considering that was a 4v5 and they got the turret pressure bottom. Not that bad. Really, he needs to be able to finish off that turret to make it entirely worth it, though. And here comes Xiaomei. I think he's going to stop him.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Xiaomei coming in. So I was actually getting stunned up there just as he landed that taunt. And now they're going to try and stop him from getting away. Trinity Force obviously is finished on this one. So Soaz won't be too easy to get away. Now we have Corki and Sona coming in from the top side. Soaz decides to change direction. He's going to taunt.
Missing the taunt over the wall. Everyone collectively groans. The first real skill shot he's missed this entire tournament or set, it seems. His Lee Sin play in the last game was so exquisite, having to die in that setup. So that overall trade is actually really big for Team WE. They got 2 big kills down onto Wei Xiao, and it's really going to help their chances as this game moves on. They actually managed to get onto Reckles, which shows them that they can. He's been so slippery. He doesn't really have a lot of protection for himself, aside from the 4 allies he has diving in for him. So if WE can actually get onto Reckless during team fights, it's going to be trouble.
Yeah, and really all that time, that fight started off, it was in the jungle. They were just off the side. FNATIC weren't really grouped. They weren't really ready for that. And Team WWE very much invaded, went the aggressor, and it seems to be working for them. 7-9, still a 2K gold advantage for FNATIC, though, so they have that slight edge on them. But as it is, 3v3 on turrets. 3v3, 3 and 3 is what I'm after. But Soaz is going to get a big chunk of farm in that top lane. N-Rated actually coming up to try and farm some of the experience with him.
So it is split push Shen time, but his ultimate is actually not up right now. So WE having a small window while he's up in that top lane by himself to roam around the map. They're really looking for something to happen. Clearing with oracles, but looks like they're just going to farm out as well, deferring to Wei Zhao.
Yeah, Wei Zhao in his bottom lane, double buffs on for him. He's going to give him a lot there as they are going to dive in. Xiaomei getting a bit caught out here in the middle. XPK going to dive on top of him. There's a true shot barrage, nicely dodged by Xiaomei. And he's missed the Crescent Strike, and that will be Xiaomei getting out.
They're coming back around the side here. Clearlove and FCZF. He has got a crescendo available. It isn't going to go for it. Actually, Crescent Strike does land. It forces the flash from FCZF there. Xiaomei is still backing off. The teleport just at the right time. Must have been holding his breath as he pressed that B. Cyanide caught, and Messiah turns back on towards him. Wei Zhao comes around the side. Cyanide's got away, and Wei Zhao goes down to Reckles. Reckles comes around. Reckles on towards Clearlove. Soaz gets the kill on Clearlove. FNATIC disengage.
This is how League of Legends should be. So many of these fights are incredibly close. Everyone just going for it. That time it got turned around by Wei Zhao. Brilliant collapse by FNATIC to save Reckless's life. And again, the fights are getting just outplayed by FNATIC in this game. You can't even say that W is making that many mistakes. Really brilliant play by FNATIC.
And we saw earlier in the tournament, World Elite looked like the most coordinated team that we'd seen the whole time, but FNATIC taking it one
here
step
comes
further.
Shenald, XPK.
I'll put towards the top. They're going in towards Messiah. It's XPK gets on towards him on the turret, though. Has he got the Rune Prison down? Has he got enough damage? He needs to go for XPK. XPK's got no mana left. It's Soaz that needs to catch on to it. No, they realize that Xiaomei is there. Now they need to hot-foot it away. They've got to get out of here, or they will get caught out. You can see coming around the backside, Xiaomei. And actually go back towards the top. You can see him. He's going to get on there. It's Soaz. He's caught down. Messiah is not going to join him, but he should have enough. He's got the Ignite down. He gets the kill, and Xiaomei's there.
And now you actually saw a couple pings going down to Baron. They know XPK is out of health and mana, and they've killed Soaz, so this is a very dangerous time for them. Reckless was actually killing the Dragon. He's got to hightail it back to the Baron here. Everyone on WE doing this. They might actually look to peel, or they just take the Baron. Either way, high tense moment for FNATIC. It's really big that they stop them here.
They've got vision of it because Sona's not gone to clear that ward out, and I'm expecting that true shot barrage to come in here any second as they do go in there. Will Elite will pick up the Baron. There is a true shot barrage. Leonin right in the middle of them, gonna go down, and that is a 3-0 overall, obviously with Soaz as well.
Oh, Xiaomei just about surviving. Reckless couldn't get involved in that fight.
He was just a little bit out of position. We just talked up FNATIC's coordination, and they made a bit of a mistake. Curse of the casters there, but big time Baron play by WE there. They're still down in gold, which basically means that if FNATIC can withstand this Baron buff duration for Team WE, they're still going to be okay for this game. It is not a disaster. It's on WE now to try to accumulate as much as possible and get as much as they possibly can done while they have the stats from this Baron buff to really pull themselves ahead in this match.
And it seems to be all about Xiaomei, sorry. He has 4-1-3, got that Trinity Force now completed, building a little bit more tanky as well. He is doing a lot of damage, but it was all Soaz. Soaz got caught out in that top lane. They tried to go aggressive, and simply put, XPK didn't have any mana to help out. They didn't get the kill on Messiah, and that turned things horribly against them. So, you can see that bottom wave shoved heavily, but that's going to be Soaz. Xiaomei clearing out a massive wave down the bottom there. How are we looking across the items, Jack?
Let's see here. We got the Last Whisper and Infinity Edge being completed for Reckless. The big thing about that is he's rushing the Last Whisper because he knows he's going to have to fend for himself when he gets dove by the likes of Irelia. He's really got to be able to crush through that tank line. The back line's going to be held by the rest of FNATIC, and that's why you see that Zhonya's Hourglass and Haunting guys on XPK really looking to dive in and create for them. But during all of this, the items are honestly pretty much even. Landmark items being completed on both sides, very close, and that's because the gold is almost dead even as well. It's going to be close.
There's the Guardian Angel finish for Irelia that we talk about so often. Trinity Force, Guardian Angel, your Irelia set. Everything else on top of that is a bonus. There's that one single Irelia so far being completed, and that's on FNATIC's side, Jack. And with the composition that they've got here, that kind of all-in, let's get right on top of them, the Irelia is a perfect item.
it's really going to be a perfect item for both teams. It just so happens that FNATIC got to it first, but now we actually see double split pushing coming out from FNATIC. Aurelia's trying to chase down Shen in the bottom lane, and they're trying to siege down this middle at the same time. A lot of aggression coming down right away here.
And Soaz hasn't really got the damage to do with Salmaya here. You can see he's just fending him off, keeping him at bay, but the rest of the team are starting to collapse down the river. And he's going to have to dodge her out of the way. Wei Zhao, FNATIC trying to turn this one. Peke's pushing him on, chooses to flash through and immediately dupes out of it, and Soaz is going to get dropped into straight up 1v1. Peke tried to put the pressure on that top lane, but it wasn't enough.
So now, 44-second death timer. That's a great answer for Soaz's split push. Just Xiaomei completely outplays him here. 35 more seconds of 4v5 with the Baron buff. WE racing up towards this mid turret. They could really try a power push here, knowing they have the man advantage and the buff.
Yeah, we see Peke actually having to recall there to get back in position for this one. Doesn't want to be getting caught away from his team coming from the backside, but World Elite are going to have this one for free. FNATIC deciding they can't hold on to it. They're going to have to back away.
They're just going to keep going here because there's still 10 seconds down on Soaz. You can see Clearlove trying to tank the turret a little bit. Minions arriving now. They might look to push the inhib tower.
They're going back and forth at the moment on the turret. They're trying to clear the wave out. Cyanide getting in there, Peke clearing in there. It's good wave clearance though for FNATIC, and they do manage to force them to back. They have to go deal with top lane.
There was also the death timer and ultimate being up for Soaz, so even though he had just rezzed, he would have been able to ult in if there was a team fight. That is most likely why Team WE decided to back away. Even still, 100 gold is separating the teams right
just
now.
pinged to the bottom turret. They're just saying, yep, we're going to go there. So is Soaz looking to maybe just continue shoving that bot lane?
He's going to keep trying this, but it's a failed experiment because Xiaomei is just on the hunt. You can look where he is, really just hoping Soaz shows himself so he can just attack him again. He is so much seemingly stronger right now. 2,200 more gold than enemy Soaz with that Triforce, always getting Phage procs to run him down. He might look to go for him if he sees any kind of window.
Yeah, and he's basically being fed here by Soaz. These times he's managed to catch him out there, pick up the kills. He's now 5-1-3. An incredible scoreline, certainly not a scoreline you want to see on an enemy Irelia, that's for sure. And he is actually going to wait here for Soaz. The question is, will he be able to get in there and stop this Soaz from being in there? Soaz is actually going to dash away, but Xiaomei is onto him. There is that turret there, that inner turret is still up, so Xiaomei probably won't be able to chase through, or is he just going to go underneath the tower? I'm not sure that's the best idea. Clearlove, though, coming in around the side, and Xiaomei is pushing straight through, but here comes the rest of FNATIC.
Is it too deep? That's the question. Xiaomei realized the danger. He'd gone a little bit too far. I think he could have maybe got the kill, but it would have been to the detriment of his own life and his own GA.
Soaz actually fired his taunt short when he went to pick up Aurelia, and because of that pressure and because they just saw Xpeke top lane, WE without the Baron buff pushing down another turret.
And that turret will go down. We saw Ezreal use his ultimate to try and get rid of those minions, force them to tank it off, but a little bit too little too late for them. And that leaves us with 11-11, 5-4 in turrets in favor of World Elite. The gold is bang even. Insane.
Dead even kills, dead even gold. Really super close game. So much, even in the team fights, has hinged on the smallest of decisions. Two of those big fights were won by FNATIC, but then they made the one boo-boo. FNATIC got caught up top. It gave the Baron, and it just brought the game right even again. So it's almost like we're resetting here. What are they going to do? WE trying to pick on Soaz, whereas FNATIC just trying to farm out.
Oh dear me, Soaz, he's just got caught out of position once again, and this is happening a little too regular, and Soaz will go down eventually. It's going to be Wei Zhao that picks up the kill. What advantage will that give them? They managed to hold out for so long against that 4-minute Baron buff, but again, they've just given them a big 40-second death timer.
Luckily for them, though, Soaz is actually being worth less and less gold, so FNATIC not feeding WE too hard if he just continues to die. I hate to say it like that, but that is the way it's working. You can see that I got to keep checking the gold because it's even, but you need to see what enemies and allies have the most. It's 11,000 gold for Reckless versus 10,700 for Wei Zhao. I think that's the big number we're going to have to keep track of because as the game gets later and later, so much more importance is going to be put onto those 80 carries. It's really close in that regard too, though.
And we see that in the top lane, when you compare Shen and Irelia, 10,000 to 8,500, and it's 10,500 actually. A big lead there, and 5-1-3. The only other person in the game that's matching up to that kind of score is, of course, Ezreal. How dangerous is this Aurelia now, Jack, with that Guardian Angel, with that Trinity Force in there as well, stacking up the kills, surely going to become just a massive problem for FNATIC.
It's going to be a race between Reckless and Xiaomei in these team fights. Aurelia's going to be diving onto Reckless. He has no protection. He's just got a bunch of divers on his own. Pretty much max items there on Ezreal, though. Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, going to be a very, very close battle. It's going to really depend on the stuns. Like, if he gets an Ezreal stun onto Reckless, he's going to kill him. If he doesn't, it might not work out.
Reckless picking up the Dragon there, but you can see that actually Team WE positioning for the Baron here, trying to look around. They have got Cyanide in there. He's pretty much sure something is up. We have got Leona gone right back, so Leona's not going to be involved in this fight. Joe, is looking like they're going to come around and try and fight this one.
I think they feel that they need to at this stage, as we are going to see PK's Crescent Strike missing. There goes Cyanide right into the middle. Oh, can't quite steal the Baron out. He goes down to Lee Sin, and the rest of FNATIC now in trouble. Finally, Leona gets around, but PK being dived on by the entire team will try to dash away, but you're not getting away from the Aurelia. There is the Zhonya's Hourglass. It will delay World Elite a little, but nothing more.
And now 5 members of WE storming up mid lane, the second Baron of the game, and 2 members of FNATIC down. This is going to be really hard for FNATIC. They have to just give up this inhibitor. How much is WE actually going to take with this? Because this is a huge swing.
They have a huge swing. They're going towards the inhibitor. There's a massive stack on the top turret if they wanted to rotate around and maybe push through and get a second. Instead, they're going to go to the bottom. They're going to tank it through. They just want to tank straight through that turret, and they can. There's not a great deal that FNATIC can do about this one. Massive advantage for Team WE, simply about fighting at the Dragon. Reckless was on the Dragon as they went for the Baron, kind of caught out of position, identical almost to the first time they got Baron.
Oh no, though, 2 inhibitors off of that. Xpeke just dead the entire time. Everyone of WE clearing out of the base. Could just be the second Baron that does it for him. Again, a bit of a positional error there by FNATIC, because no kill set up that Baron buff. They just straight up rushed it and then outsmited Cyanide attempting to steal. They're just stacking up their global objectives, stacking up that teamfight presence, and we haven't actually seen a big teamfight clash in quite a while. It's just been WE out team playing FNATIC and positioning better for this win.
Let's have a look down the gold now. After that one, there must be some big totals to spend here. You can see quite a lot of them up above 1,500 gold. And Corki on Aurelia, the 2 which are going to be probably meaning the most in these fights coming forward. I'm sure that they're going to be having a nice shopping trip once they finally get down there. You see Xiaomei actually up to almost 250 creeps now. He's approaching the level of the AD carries, and that's a scary thought.
We'll have to see how this works out, because there is so much power on Reckless in these team fights, but it has to come through, because they have to actually team fight. With 2 inhibitors down, it's going to be so difficult for them to just even look outside their base. Everyone of Team WE now is going to be going up towards that 3rd inhib, and if we learn something in the Team WE versus CLG EU 70-minute game, it's that WE knows how to split push and keep a team corralled in their base, even if they're losing team fights, and we haven't even seen that they're losing team fights. So this is going to be real tough for FNATIC.
And FNATIC not able to really pick anyone off. They realize that top turret may well be the next target. Can they find someone in the jungle? They have gone forwards, Clearlove. That's going to be the moonfall. They're going to try and catch him out, but again, Lee Sin so slippery. They catch him again with the taunt down. Might be able to pop the G on Clearlove, but no. The Clearlove just avoids it, kicks them back out, and now Xiaomei in there. They're going to turn towards it. Who is the focus of target? GA has been popped by Clearlove. They're going to go towards Wei Xiao. Wei Xiao just off the side there. Can they get him down? Can they get the damage on? They managed to get Messiah down. Cyanide as well. And Reckless is still in there, still fighting. This is the 1v1 he's got with Xiaomei. Soaz taken down. Flash is out of there, but followed straight away by Clearlove. Clearlove, GA already pops. Oh, Wei Xiao from a long way back with the ulti. And now they're pushing on towards the final inhib turret.
And the Baron buff just keeping them alive so much here. The regen coming through. That 1v1 was so close. They got the Shen ultimate to come in on top of it. And with this 3rd inhibitor falling down, I don't know what they're going to do, Joe.
A long fight there. Now Reckless fighting off these super minions. World Elite have taken that 3rd and final inhibitor down. But I think with the health that they've got, they decide to back away again. They must be sat on a lot of gold after everything that's been going on. Yeah, see 2,500 there for Corki to spend when he gets himself home. Aurelia actually picking up a Warmog, so if she wasn't strong enough, she's now going to be even healthier with that one.
And it was actually quite a battle that happened between Reckless and Xiaomei in that team fight, but what ended up happening is the other 4 members of Team WE really just outplayed FNATIC. They had the Baron buff. It's a little bit stronger. It was a very clustered team fight, so Ryze got off a lot of AoE. Messiah, even though he's 1-4-10, is really contributing some damage in these team fights. And when you lose all 3 inhibitors at the same time, you get those double super minion waves coming up every lane. There's going to be 6 3,900 health super minions arriving in FNATIC Raid Call's base very shortly. Team WE really going to just group up and try to push for an end this one.
Well, we saw a similar situation against CLG EU. Reckless having the reset there on the red buff. Not really what he wanted, but he'll pick that up pretty quickly. We saw a similar situation against CLG EU. They did at least manage to keep at least one inhibitor spawning. They're trying to defend this one out. The bottom two actually will spawn very soon, but with those massive creep waves, you can see them keeping them at bay. It is giving gold to FNATIC, but honestly, you can see now Team WE just regrouping, and they're going to go for the final push.
Everyone farming up. We'll see Wei Zhao. Actually surprised we don't see more elixirs coming through from Team WE because this very well could be the final push. Everyone on FNATIC having to turtle up. You can see they need to power up as much as they can. Here comes everybody on Team WE.
They are pushing right in for this one. Lee Sin not actually with them, but for now, the Chinese side just trying to push those minions back, give them as much open field to work with here inside of that FNATIC base as they can. Lee Sin now going to join the party. FNATIC actually getting Cyanide in trouble. They're going to go down for this fight as they all jump in.
Cyanide actually getting deleted from the map so quickly. They just don't have the damage to counteract this one. And that's a double kill for Xiaomei. Shen ultimate's not going to be enough. Wei Zhao picks up a kill. That's a kill for Messiah. That's a kill for Clearlove. And that is the ace for Team WE. They will take game 2 here. That's going to make it 2-1. All advantages back with Team WE.
And actually, all 5 members of FNATIC give the GG well played after that one because that was a very well played match by Team WE. FNATIC had the edge there, and WE just kind of pulled themselves back in that very hard to make those comeback victories in the grand finals like this. So, weighted best of 5, 2-1 now for Team WE. Game on.
Yeah, this is game point. Let's not forget that one now. FNATIC have all the pressure on them. All the pressure is on their back. They're certainly a team that could come from this, but they'll probably be feeling a little bit of deja vu at this stage from that upper bracket final. Won game number 1, then lost 2 in a row. If that happens here again, World Elite will be the champions of IPL 5. And
especially in the first best of 3 they played earlier today, they said they threw the second game at the Baron. That's kind of reminiscent of what happened here because Soaz got caught out in the top. They did a failed dive. All that aggression that's been paying off for them this entire tournament finally backfired for them just once there, and they kind of just lost their mojo after that dive there, and they fell apart near the end of the game. We know they can regroup, though, because they've already come out of the loser's bracket.
And they never really had a fight. They had the 5v5 fight at the Dragon. But after that, they never managed to get a 5v5. FNATIC were constantly split. They had their advantages, and the moment Soaz got caught at that top lane, it just snowballed so quickly from Team WE. They got that Baron. They were straight 4v5. They couldn't fight for it. Every advantage, it was so reminiscent, every single fight. And like you mentioned in the game, it just out-tacticked.
It was really a tale of 2 games for Soaz and Xiaomei because the first one, it was all about Lee Sin and Soaz and how he dominated. And in this second game, he gave up the first blood, Soaz did. Actually managed to come back a little bit, but then he just kept making those mental errors, and WE was so willing to capitalize on it. They knew if they could just shut down Shen and make sure Xiaomei could always 1v1 him in split pushing ideals, Shen just loses all of his versatility and power at that point.
Jack, what do FNATIC have to talk about between the games here? What is it about really changing things a lot? Is it small things there? Is it just about keeping your focus and making sure you're in the right frame of mind?
At this point, I think it's focus because the picks and bans haven't changed drastically in the 6 games between these guys so far this tournament, counting the group stage. It is all about execution, and if you're not even team fighting a team, that's definitely something to mentally work on. It doesn't have to do with picks and bans at that point. It's really just keeping your head in the game and making sure you actually come to play.
So as the players collect themselves, we will have a short break. It is IPL 5 here in Las Vegas, easy for me to say, at the Cosmopolitan. The 2 teams have been slugging it out. This is effectively the 5th time they've fought each other already. They're going to have a Game 6 coming up. It is 2-1 advantage Team WE, who will take Game 4. We'll be right back.